What up, y'all? It is your boy A Switch back at it, bringing back my podcast. Um, I started it out a little bit way back, man, years ago, I want to say, but I've now finally got around to getting it started back up. So hopefully, we'll continue to do this podcast weekly. Not really haven't got down a definitive time yet, at least to consistently get it out, but at least I'm going to make the promise of releasing at least weekly in terms of the podcast. So for those that don't know, this podcast is basically going to be focused on gaming and nerd related news and whatnot, and just a discussion about that. Pretty much that's at least what this is the focus of what the podcast is going to be going forward. So yeah, not sure in terms of where everything is going to go. Definitely working on getting this on the iTunes iTunes podcast or Apple Podcast, whatever you name it, first, and then trying to go to other avenues there. May possibly put these up on YouTube as well. Spotify, possibly SoundCloud. We may visit that at some point, depending on how the show goes in general. But at least the tentative plan is the first get it up on Apple Podcast and kind of go from there. So, with all that being said, guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes, the cheese and grits. That doesn't go together, but you know what I mean, right? Please understand what I mean. So what a better time than now to kind of make my triumphant return, because good golly almighty, we got a heap of great news. So first and foremost, probably the biggest news in a while, the PlayStation 5 specs have been revealed. Good golly, it is a glorious day. It is about that time for a new generation of consoles. No time is better than that anticipation and speculation of new consoles before they actually release and whatnot. So but yeah, so the new specs have been released. So let's gonna take a look real quick. I really should have had this up in advance, but excuse me, I'm kind of trying to get into the thick of things, trying to get a good rhythm going. So let's see. We will go to the one place to know. I know specifically this was seen on Reset Era, of course, but I think actually PlayStation themselves released the information, which is the most surprising. I think exclusively with an outlet. I don't recall the particular name, unfortunately, but let's see. Let's go to the site here. We're going to go to the main page. Okay. So in terms of the specs, 8-core AMD 7nm Zen 2 CPU. So good golly, that's definitely that at least sounds like a lot of power to work with. 8-core specifically. I know generally with PCs in terms of the general standard is 4 cores. So yeah, for 8 cores, and I think this is supposed to be like a currently being worked on model in terms of the CPU as well. So, and also ray tracing support with AMD Navi GPU. So for those that don't know, at least based off my knowledge, ray tracing is basically a method of securing not necessarily securing, but method of lighting that basically renders twice in a sense in terms of the real time graphics. So basically, like when you're looking at like a car with a window and reflections or something like that, it will show appropriately in that regard. So let's say there's like a fire happening, like reflected on the window. You actually be able to see that real time on the reflection as if it's actually kind of I guess really 100% accurate in terms of seeing it visually on the reflective surface compared to before, or like how we currently have it for the most part, where there will be like somewhat of an accurate reflection of the image, but it won't be actually accurate. It'll like roughly be kind of look the same as if it would be, but it's basically not. It's kind of like a what's the word? Kind of like a, I guess, pasted image, if you will. That's obviously I don't know too much about ray tracing. I haven't really experimented with it much. I do have a 1080 Ti SLI in SLI, so and they recently came with a update for the drivers for 1080i specifically that do support ray tracing now for a couple of games, but none that I'm necessarily interested in, but we'll see. So got that, and then a custom AMD unit for 3D audio, also aided by ray tracing. That's pretty interesting. I'm not really too familiar with the 3D audio aspect, because at least to my knowledge, 5.1, 7.1 audio, even Dolby Atmos was 3D audio enough, but I think that might roughly be what that means. Some form of Dolby Atmos or similar form in that. So we'll have to see. It's kind of not really, I guess, concrete in some of that information, but either way, it is there. And probably I'd say the biggest like selling point is the extremely fast high-end SSD. That's supposedly faster than any currently available PC. So I'm part of me is kind of suspicious about that, but in general, I mean, if they're able to do that, it's going to be crazy. And they said an example they use specifically with Spider-Man, specifically for load times. So on the PS4 Pro, in terms of load times on Spider-Man is 15 seconds all the way down to 0.8 seconds on a PS5. Wow, that is like a significant amount of time being saved there. But yeah, if that definitely is promised to perform like it is, then that's definitely going to be a huge game changer for gaming. Specifically on console for sure. So that definitely has me excited. Probably in a very, I guess, I don't know, just throwing words out there just to throw them out there. It seems is that it technically can support 8K video. Like anybody has that capability, unless you like Bill Gates or Elon Musk or who else? Jeff Bezos or somebody. Unless you got money just to blow like that, don't see 8K being a thing anytime. Definitely in the generation of these new consoles. That will be really sight to behold. But technically, it has the capability. So technically it would be capable, but to actually utilize it is a whole nother story, which, anything to, seem to be more appealing in terms of consoles and whatnot. So, and then virtual reality. So they did say that it will be able to support previous PSVRs that, people currently have with our current generation of PlayStation consoles. So that is definitely a really good, I guess, goodwill thing, and to show that they're not giving up on PSVR. It may encourage me to bite PSVR. I messed with it at one time, but I felt like it wasn't really much to justify getting a PSVR. Messed around with Resident Evil 7 a little bit. Didn't play it fully through on VR. I'd like to do that at some point. But on top of that, they are saying that they are working on another version of the PSVR. So that will be, designed to obviously natively work with the PS5. So that might be worth kind of exploring as well. So I don't know. I may possibly hold out until that is released and see if it's worthwhile. I'm guessing it'll probably be in like 4K resolution compared to the current PSVR. It's like 1080p for each eye, and probably some other nifty bells and whistles from there. So really cool selling point for sure there. I guess they talked about Death Stranding, the the huge, widely known game that's gonna take forever to come out. Probably I'll be in a cane and diapers, when it actually releases. But I digress. Which does bring another point. Well, actually, before that, of course, they did confirm physical media. I don't think that's necessarily a surprise to anybody, I guess in terms of the speculation of where the next generation of consoles is going to go, I guess it's safe to kind of, be worried and concerned that, physical media will potentially go away, with Google Stadia and stuff like that. And which, I totally understand. But yeah, I guess to touch on Google Stadia, since we never touched on that real quick, just to share my quick thoughts. Very, very suspicious and apprehensive in terms of Stadia. I don't see myself really using it or utilizing it when I have a physical console and or PC to play, in much higher fidelity compared to Google Stadia, which we don't even know. We know a fair amount of aspects, but we don't even know if it'll actually, legitimately work like, other promised streaming services like what, OnLive. OnLive is probably the biggest one I could think of. PS Now, I messed with PS Now a while back. It was okay. The lag was definitely noticeable, but it was playable. It depends on the game, of course. So like obviously, RPGs, turn-based games, games that aren't as demandingly like twitchy and things like that, like first-person shooters or anything, would technically be playable. But I'd have to believe it when I see it. Google Stadia, I don't know. But if any company would be able to try it and succeed, it definitely would be Google for sure. By all means it would. So we'll see what comes of that. But as of now, I'm not holding my breath. I'm not, waiting, camping outside to get a Google Stadia, or I guess, well, obviously because they technically don't have a physical device, but they don't have a physical device, but I know if you want to play exclusively on your TV, you would need a Google Chromecast Ultra, I believe, that's capable of 4K 60 frames per second video. I'm pretty sure, I would assume at least that like if you have a PC that has, some of those capabilities, you can utilize it as normal. But yeah, I don't know. Very skeptical of Google Stadia, but yeah, I mean, if anybody could do it, it would be Google of all people. Well, I guess also Amazon, but that's a whole nother bag of mixed nuts, if you will. So yeah, going back on topic to the PlayStation 5. They confirmed physical media, and another big selling point, of course, which technically shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. They could have possibly did it, but backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 4. That's a big one for sure. I mean, how much of our current library we have with the PS4 and the great games and stuff like that. That definitely, I felt, should have been a given in terms of, the PS4. Well, I mean, the PS5 in terms of, having that strong library that you can transfer over to this current gen, especially to hold you over before all the really big hitter games come out on the PS5. So definitely a big point for sure. Definitely would have liked to at least see like PS2 or PS3 compatibility. That would have been really cool. To have. I definitely would have liked that. I guess it's not really still confirmed that there won't be any PS2, PS3 compatibility. I know it definitely would be much difficult for more difficult for PS3 considering the current architecture of the PS3 and how difficult it was to even develop for in the first place, let alone kind of port from. So we'll see. It would be really surprising and awesome, and even make the PS5 that much greater in that respect. But as long as they at least have PS2, I would be ultimately satisfied. But at the least, we at least have PS4 compatibility, which does bring another point in terms of compared to the Xbox with them doing a really great job in terms of their backwards compatibility, with being able to actually upscale games to like 4K resolution and just crazy stuff like that, which is to be honest very mind-blowing when you think about it. Like to have a game that you used to play on the 360 days and now with the Xbox One X being able to play that same exact game in native 4K resolution, that's hard to kind of fathom that's even like possible. So that like opens up a whole new realm of possibilities, in terms of what can be done in terms of backwards compatibility. So very, very fascinated by that. And I think that, really presents a very interesting precedence in terms of maybe the what PlayStation is looking at, what they can do, specifically, with PS4 games on the PS5. So I would assume you could probably be able to pretty easily, since I know they said that the PS5 architecture is basically going to be roughly almost, if not almost the same as the PS4. So that's going to make things a lot easier to scale and upgrade, I would assume, based off that. So what I'm thinking based off that aspect is that I think it's going to make cross-gen games a lot more easier to deal with, compared to like Xbox 360 being upgraded to Xbox One, and PS3 to PS4, where you had to do all the very haphazard stuff, like having to what did you have to do? Like you had to like have the disc and then put it in your upgraded console. So if I had 360 and I was upgrading the Xbox One, I would have to put the 360 disc in the Xbox One to basically act as a key to unlock an upgrade, which you, I think in some cases, have to pay for a minor cost, which is understandable in some aspects. But it was interesting to say the least. It was like, well, if I have the disc, why can't I just play the whole game or whatever? But I don't know. It was okay. It was okay. It was doable. I mean, I don't think there were any issues with that specifically, but I don't know. Something about that just felt like weird and I guess tacky for some reason, but I can't really definitively put my finger on it or as to why. But I digress. I don't know. But I think now with this generation, I think it's going to be much more simplified and streamlined in terms of, cross-platform games. So like, let's say I have Destiny 3 or something, if that unrealistically comes out between the generations. let's say I have Destiny 3 and, I had the PS4 and then, now I have a PS5. I would not find it hard to believe that you could just simply put, the PS4 disc in your PS4 in your PS5 and then be able to upgrade, or the PS5 automatically detecting that it's a PS4 disc and then be able to add any assets for like 4K and stuff, and just additional patches that says like, okay, I'm playing a PS4 on the PS5, and basically get those well-deserved enhancements for playing on the next generation of gaming. TM copyright. But yeah, man, just the whole prospect of what can be done, and specifically Xbox paving the way for backwards compatibility in general. That's just, by all counts and purposes, just immensely fascinating to me. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how things are going to flesh out with the PS5. They said it's been four years in development so far. So, and they did say that it's not coming out this year, so it will be coming out in the year 2020, which that's kind of good, actually. A part of me kind of wanted to be much sooner, but it's like my backlog is still crazy as it is. If no huge titles come out, outside of, Last of Us Part 2 and some other games that don't come to my head currently, I'm totally fine. Take your time, Pastor. Take your time. You could take your time, Pastor. Keep going, Pastor. Take your time, Sony. Take your time. Please take your time. But yeah, no, I think Sony is at a really great place right now. They're pretty much ahead of the race in terms of the console wars. So, I mean, they really technically, well, they have a lot to lose in terms of if they kind of mess this whole release up. I don't think they will. I think they learned their lesson, definitely from the PS3. I think the PS3 generation was a huge humbling experience for them in terms of a lot of various aspects with the online shutdown or online breach they had back in, I want to say, 2011, as well as the initial pricing for the PS3, like $600. God. And no even, yeah, that was crazy. So hopefully, one, like, I guess fear I do have is that they could potentially try to get cocky like they did with the PS3 after the PS2, with trying to go on balls to the wall like, hey, we Sony, we PS3, $600, take it or leave it. What? Kind of like that. I'm pretty sure, especially with the change of management and things and whatnot, I hope and pray that they don't lose their way, don't get tempted by the dark side. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, definitely optimistic for it. At least all the specs wise, definitely impressed in terms of the potential that it can provide in terms of making some great games. And yeah, I guess going back on the price, at least checking on the threads and stuff, at least I think the consensus, I would say, is definitely 500. That seems like, considering the components and the super fast, this super elite flash light speed SSD, yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be in the 500 ballpark. And, considering how big games are nowadays, I doubt it would be any smaller with this next generation of games. So it's probably going to be another tier of console that just probably has an upgraded SSD with, more storage, like for like 600. So like in that realm, I think it's okay for this price point. At least there being a base price point of 500, giving you the opportunity if you want to upgrade from that to the 600 for, higher storage. It's understandable now that we're getting much more powerful with consoles, now that they're going to start competing with, PC, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because now gaming is literally just PCs that are just, streamlined PCs basically. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. It's very interesting to see what's going to come of, this next generation. Very fascinating. Just when you think about it, gaming is just so fascinating in terms of just, all the dynamics and things and whatnot. Yeah, man. What a great time to be a gamer, I would say. I definitely would say. So we'll see what comes of that. Yeah. Well, so moving on from that. Also, this past weekend, there was the Star Wars announcement for the next Star Wars game, which is called Star Wars: The Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order. Let me let me make sure I don't mess that up. I'm actually kind of going off the cuff here, but I think that is worth checking. Jedi Fallen Order, I think. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Jedi Fallen Order, yeah. So, yeah, I saw the trailer. Looks pretty interesting. It said, at least the details I got from it is that, it's going to be focused on action. So I know some people were speculating that it's going to be stealth-based and things like that, or first-person shooter, considering the repertoire of Respawn, the guys that made Titanfall 1 and 2, as well as the immense successful game that I've been playing as well, Apex Legends, the free-to-play game that people have been ranting and raving about since it's released the past couple of months ago. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be third person. So you are a Jedi, which is cool. I mean, who would not want to be a Jedi or play a Star Wars game where you are a Jedi? That's just like, no. Like, of course I want to be a Jedi. I want the Force. I want it so bad. Give me the Force, please. Luke, you're my only hope. You're my you I can't say it. You're my only hope. You're my only hope. Moving on. But yeah, so yeah, definitely very interested in terms of how this game is going to turn out, especially, the repertoire that Respawn and Vincent Pella, who's, come from the Call of Duty fame, the infamous Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 that, Modern Warfare 2, because that's my favorite out of the Modern Warfares. But of course, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, that kind of started the whole, class multiplayer, based genre, if you will. So very fascinated and interested in terms of how they're gonna treat a game that's out of their kind of realm of familiarity. Since they've been widely known for just doing first-person shooters, as Titanfall 1 and 2 and Apex Legends can attest to there. So another tidbit that I did find interesting is that Amy Henning, from the studio that was working on the now canceled Star Wars game, Star Wars 1313, that people were really hyped up about, that was actually a really good trailer. It's gonna be interesting in terms of comparing the two. Like, would you play 1313 over the Fallen Order and things like that? But we'll see in due time, since they did confirm the release date, which is going to be, I believe, November 15th. I'm pretty sure. That's the date. So going to be out this year. That's crazy. But yeah, going back to the Amy Hennig thing, that like she was kind of she had some words to say in terms of you know, them basically dropping their project for Respawn's you know, regarding a Star Wars IP based game. So, you know, at least I can't say verbatim, obviously, but the general gist I got is that, okay, all right, I see what y'all did. Y'all dropped us for him. That's cool, but you know, best of luck to your events, Zampella and Respawn. You know, hopefully you don't get, hopefully you don't get gouged like I did. You know, for all the hard work and blood, sweat, and tears I put into that project. So. Gaming can be crazy, man, in terms of the, you know, gaming industry. I would assume. I don't know. Just seeing all the dynamics and stuff going through news and stuff like that would be interesting. It's a damn shame that they wouldn't, you know, release both of those games, or, you know, have them both still be worked on, because, man, 1313 definitely looked pretty interesting. I definitely would have picked it up or at least tried it out for sure. But, well, that is the industry, I'd say. So, who am I to judge? But yeah, so that is Star Wars 13. At least, of course, I call it the game that I may be slightly more interested in. But Star Wars, the Jedi Fallen Order. Star Wars, the Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order? Jedi Order Fallen. I'm just mixing up words now at this point. But you get it, right? You get it. So yeah, interesting to say the least. So yeah, that is all of the news in terms of Star Wars 1313. I keep saying it. Star Wars The Fallen Order, the Jedi Fallen Order. So since that recently happened, thought I'd include that in this cast. Since we're basically kind of experimenting at this point, we'll see what kind of sticks, maybe get a little bit more refined. But for now, we'll just try to make up for lost ground. So next, recently released news, Persona 5 Joker is getting released tomorrow of the date of this recording. Man, I haven't really had a tie with Joker specifically, but in terms of the Persona series, definitely interested in terms of checking them out as a character. I have yet to buy the season pass for the characters, but definitely am going to at some point. I may not rush out to play Joker. May see through osmosis what the consensus is with him and whatnot. So we'll see. But man, it was like a huge moment of silence in terms of, you know, dead air and not really hearing much about Joker in terms of when is he actually coming out, because he was announced at the Game Awards back in December, which I was actually there at the Game Awards. Pretty awesome experience. But yeah, it was like a lot of dead silence after that. So who knows? But at least now we do actually know. So and then of course what was highly rumored too, or actually kind of leaked by Nintendo themselves, is that there is going to be a stage builder mode, which actually this is kind of somewhat breaking news, because actually I did not get more information about it. So let's see. Some track updates. Stage builder. Yeah, I don't think they really provided much info regarding it. Yeah, just stage builder and the update. So it's pretty safe to assume that it's going to be a stage creator mode to some extent. So that's pretty cool in terms of, you know, letting gamers go crazy. Go stupid. I'm sorry. I had to do that. I'm sorry because it's been on my head. Been in my head for a while. So you're welcome. You're not welcome. You could take it or you can leave it. I don't care. I don't care. New spirits, new me costumes, and video editing. Interesting. So you can actually edit Smash Brothers videos within the game. That's going to be crazy. And there's going to be 11 tracks cumulatively from Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5. So interesting stuff. His Memento stage. Yeah, cool. Excuse me, I'm all for it. So yeah, again, I've never really played Persona. I have Persona 5, but it is still shrink wrapped. Shame on me. I know. I'll eventually get around to playing it. I'll definitely at least have to try out 5 for sure. I think they were talking about there's a Persona 5S edition, which I'm guessing is gonna release on the Switch, given the S. But I am not too sure about that specifically. But I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that with the release of Persona or Joker from Persona in Smash, that there would be a relevant release pertaining to the character. So yeah, because I don't there's yet to be a character release that doesn't have some well, no, let me take that back, because there's a lot of characters in the Smash roster that don't technically have a game on the Switch, but obviously for previous consoles and things like that. So but yeah, cool nonetheless. Definitely interested. May actually get me to start playing some Smash again. So we shall see about that. Very interesting stuff. One other thing, I guess, since we're on the Nintendo topic, Suda51, the God, he released some information about No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Back, in regards to the new DLC that's going to be coming out. I don't think they provided a date as of yet, or maybe it's next week. I'm not 100% sure on that, but either way, they're gonna have the Bad Girl DLC, which it was pretty much known that was gonna be a DLC. So it's gonna be an extra brand new stage, I guess the one that was unfinished in the game. And then I think I'm pretty safe to say that you'll be able to play her as a playable character, kind of similar to how Shinobu was played in the first DLC. First DLC was somewhat disappointing in my opinion. I felt they could have did some more with it. It was cool having the comic side story with Badman. I think it was Batman Strikes Again, where it was just basically like what do you call it? Like a novel, an interactive novel, I think, or something like that. Something along those lines, where basically, you just read the text of the story of whatever he's doing. So that aspect was pretty cool. I did find myself being interested in that as well. So cool stuff all around. They did, I think Suda51 suggested that, or hinted that he has some stuff to announce, or something in particular to announce at MomoCon, I want to say. So I know, at least according to what people have said previously, he was able, or he did announce Killer 7 for Steam, PC and Steam, at that event. So, like they say for history, past behavior predicts future behavior. Might get a No More Heroes 3 announcement, or probably more realistically, No More Heroes 3 is realistic because, spoilers for No More Heroes Travis Strikes Again. Towards the end, you play like a semi-alpha, it seems, for No More Heroes 3, basically. and they basically hint at like, hey, we're working, I'm developing on something. What is it? Well, you're gonna have to wait and find out. So we could get a confirmation that No More Heroes 3 is gonna be is officially in development. But I mean, it's pretty safe to say I think that it is currently being worked on to some extent. We'll see what that could be, but I think not more realistically, more likely is that there's going to be a whatchamacallit, port of No More Heroes 1 and 2 to the Switch. That would be pretty crazy. Would love that. Maybe have some sweet new additions. Maybe it looks more so like the PS3 remake of the first one. That would be awesome. Would totally love that. Would totally play it again. Yes, will love it. I want it all. So if you don't know, I'm a pretty big No More Heroes fan. I'd say definitely it's one of my top favorite games of all time for sure. Just love the atmosphere or just vibe of the game. It just speaks to me on so many levels. So definitely excited and hyped for that. Also, I mean, I'm just saying it. I'm putting it out there. I'm just throwing it in the universe. Hopefully it, comes back with the blessing that I, project out to it. But I would love, considering that MomoCon, timing wise, it would be pretty good to, announce something for another Smash character. And I think who would be a better candidate than Mr. Travis Touchdown himself. So I think that could be pretty likely that on top of maybe they sprinkle the No More Heroes 1 and 2 Switch announcement, first Switch announcement, that on top of that they announced that Travis Touchdown is coming to Smash. Then everybody had MobileCon, oh my god, Suda51, you the best, man. Oh my god, I love you so much. Suda51, let me suck your dick. Oh my god. That's totally unrealistic, at least that aspect. But but nonetheless, yeah, I think that is pretty possible. Consider, each Nintendo character is affiliated or has been included. My God, I'm making up words today. Been included with Nintendo at some point, so it would not be too far-fetched to think that there could be a character such as the man himself, Travis Touchdown, be included. I mean, we have Bayonetta currently in the roster, so she's associated with a lot of mature content that doesn't necessarily, I guess, gel with Nintendo characters in that extent. Not saying that she doesn't fit with Smash. No, she's pretty great, but I'm just saying that Nintendo is willing to put in characters that are more for more mature audiences, if you will. So would be great, I'd say. He does his little lightsaber charging motion and all that. Honegashimasu. He doesn't really say that, but you get what I'm saying. For the Travis Touchdown fans out there, I'm just saying. So, all in all, yeah, pretty great news in terms of at least the Nintendo aspect as of late. RIP. Why am I saying RIP? Shouts out to Reggie Fils-Aimé. I think I believe he recently retired, officially retired, the past about a day or two ago. To the fittingly Doug Bowser for Nintendo now. So definitely appreciate all you've done for Nintendo, Reggie. You're a great man. My body will always be ready for you, Reggie. No homo. I'm not trying to be like that, Reggie. I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't mean it like that. I love you. I don't love you like that though. Okay, don't get it twisted, Jared. Don't don't get it don't get it twisted, Reggie. Okay, all right. You're great. You always be great. Okay. Getting off that, very weird, oddly gay, gay. I don't even know what you call that. I don't even know what you call it. I'm just gonna leave it right there. But yeah, in other news, I think this is, I believe this is noteworthy. Or actually, no. Let me switch that. I was gonna go with something, but we'll put that for later. Xbox One X all digital edition was recently announced. So basically, it's an Xbox One, or not Xbox One X. I meant Xbox One S. I put that wrong in my notes. We're learning here, people. We're learning. We're learning. We're growing. We're learning. All right. Okay. Help me. Help me. But yeah, so there is they did announce an Xbox One S all digital edition. So basically it's an Xbox One S without the disc tray. So basically in my head I'm thinking like, hey, I got all these games I bought physically, but man, what do I play it on? Well, kid, why don't you get an Xbox One S all digital edition? Like, but it doesn't have a disc tray. Just play the damn game, kid. But actually, on that note, I think they are introducing a program to satiate actually folks like that are in that situation in particular. I think Microsoft Store specifically is going to have a program at some point that it's going to actually let you trade in physical games for digital versions. I'm assuming like a code that they'll give you in exchange for the same game that you turn in or something like that, which is pretty interesting, I'd say. Very curious about that. Me personally, I at least consider myself a physical media purist. I definitely prefer my games physical. I do make the exception for multiplayer games, since when you think about it, like, what good is the game if you're not playing it in multiplayer? With the exception of some games that do have substantial single player, like Call of Duty. Well, at least when it used to have a campaign, adjacent to this current release or latest release of Call of Duty, which is Black Ops 4. But I digress. So yeah, definitely keep the physical media alive. Matter of fact, just double down on it. Like, bring manuals back. All right, please, bring manuals back. All right, just do it for me. If not anybody else, just do it for me. Some random Joe Smuck on the street, right? I don't know why I just got like Bronx out of nowhere, mafioso, Italiano. I don't know where I was going with that. But nonetheless, yes, Xbox One S all digital edition. Very weird. I would never see myself getting this unless, I don't know, if I haven't amassed like my collection like I have now in terms of physical games, and I didn't really care about physical media, or I just was really pressed for space or something like that. Then yeah, I would probably do so, I guess. But yeah, otherwise, no. I'm all about that disc tray, baby. That disc tray. Give me that disc tray. Give me that disc tray, girl. It's just some random dude just out of nowhere. Actually, no, it's some random dude at GameStop. A random dude at GameStop. He's just waiting for girls to come in and come out. Hey, give me that disc tray, girl. Just waiting. He, in particular, he's just waiting for women to come out of GameStop that purchased an Xbox One S all digital edition. He's just waiting at the door like, let me get that disc tray, girl. Let me get that disc tray, girl. Oh boy. Yeah, man, he's going to jail. Some random dude come up, you're going to jail, sir. But nonetheless, interesting news with that. I know it's been heavily rumored about that, but yeah, to actually get the initial, I guess, verification of it, that it was like basically like kind of like saddle drop that it's gonna be on sale pretty much, I think, by the end of this week, I want to say. But yeah, no, that's gonna be a no for me on that in particular. But kind of staying in the realm of Xbox news, also a thing to note, I think Ninja Gaiden 2 is has been announced as backwards compatible with Xbox One X enhanced support. Goodness. Goodness. This is why I'm loving Xbox in that particular aspect. They are showing so much damn love for old retro games, and I love it. I personally love, revisiting old games and retro games personally. It's just something I find fascinating about that. Also, uncovering hidden gems that you haven't really discovered, back then and things like that. I think it's just always something so fun and interesting about that, in my opinion. So, and kind of revisit this game because I do own it and I played it, when it came out, and it was a pretty great game. Definitely tough, obviously, which is Ninja Gaiden's, monikers, of course, but I did my rites of passage. I beat it, and I had a great time with it. I know a lot of people were talking about Ninja Gaiden Sigma, which was technically the enhanced version of the game with added characters and like I think they new weapons and scaled difficulty, or enemies are harder basically. But I hear people don't really generally like that version compared to the original, in terms of just, I guess the enemies supposedly are just ridiculously too hard and just not fun, which I would not enjoy that either. So I don't blame them. But nonetheless, that is a thing. That is a thing, if that makes sense. A thing that is a thing that's going to be a thing. So keep thinking, think. But yeah, thought I'd mention that. I'm just really loving what Xbox doing with their Xbox One enhanced stuff. Man, it's like basically just, porting a game without actually doing all the, hard work, getting developers involved and stuff like that. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is backwards compatible. It got back compat like a couple months back, I want to say. And man, that is just a great game. Let me tell you, that is a great game. I love it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It really is. So, yeah, very excited for some future titles. Hopefully, I know I would like to see Nier. That is one title that's yet to be ported or officially back compat. I still have to play that too. Good God. Oh, every time. I always feel shameful every time I reflect back on it. But yeah, I'm trying to, at some point play Nier, but I'm gonna try to hold out now. Maybe that might increase the odds of another Nier. I love it. But yeah, that is good old Xbox. Gotta love you. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm a Xbox fan at heart. But of course, I definitely am a multi-console person. I appreciate and love all consoles. I may have some favoritism in some aspects, but in general, I do appreciate a lot of exclusives and things like that. I am a gaming enthusiast. Love me some damn games. Okay? Why do you think I'm doing this? But yeah, so other than that, that's pretty much been all the interesting sights of this week, I'd say. Yeah, I'm pretty interested. Yeah, PS5 stuff, man, that was very interesting. Can't wait to see what comes of that. Man, just interesting all around. So now let's cover what I've been playing. So what I've been playing as of late, actually kind of a mix. At least I've been playing a fair amount of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Good God, that is definitely a tough game for sure. It doesn't feel, I don't know, I think it's maybe just me being acclimated to the Soulsborne series of games, because to kind of give some, backstory, I have played and beaten Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Demon Souls. Demon Souls actually somewhat recently, within the last about almost a year ago. And what else? Bloodborne. So definitely I think I have the, I guess trained mentality of, those games. But I guess that's the thing, a note that can kind of also work against me, because the games now, Sekiro specifically, is very different in a fair amount of ways compared to the Soulsborne games, where, if you're trying to do the exact same thing that you were doing in the Bloodborne games that you're doing in Sekiro, you're mostly going to die, more than likely. I was kind of able to get away with some of that early in the game. But now coming in further into the game, I've been finding myself having a much more difficult time, navigating and doing anything around, in general. So, yeah, but Sekiro, I'm really enjoying it. It's been a struggle, don't get me wrong, but for it feels kind of easier compared to the other titles, or other related games, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. Maybe I'm just more accepting of dying compared to the other games for some reason, or just I think have that preconceived notion, expectation, like, okay, I'm gonna die a lot, all right, gotta focus on learning the person, rather than raging and getting mad or throwing my controller or something like that. So I don't know, maybe it's just like, it's either or, really, just playing all of the games beforehand and just knowing what to expect, kind of, in terms of like the general formula, because that's kind of somewhat, no, I'd say that's kind of different too, because of how it works in terms of the system, and maybe some mild spoilers here and there, so I will kind of put that preface. I won't try to spoil anything significant or anything like that, but in terms of playing the game, it's hard to say. Like, it's a lot of things that are like, it feels slightly different but yet the same. But basically, what a notable difference is that when you die in this game, there is a possible way to come back, where basically you technically can die twice, hence I'm assuming the title. But when you get killed, you can revive yourself, basically, and get back up. And in some cases, if the enemy loses their focus on you and walk away, and they're like, okay, I killed his ass, yeah, got him, and then they walk away, then you can respawn and then like stealth kill them. But in most cases where I had to do that, they would not they would not walk away. They would like wait for me to die, because basically you do have a timer when you do die to revive yourself. So pretty much when you die, it felt like roughly about 30 to 45 seconds in terms of the window that you would have to revive yourself back. But basically during that whole time period, some enemies I fought, they would just wait there and literally stare at you until you don't press the button, and you just say die. And you in that scenario, you would just literally just die, and then have to go back to your last visited, what is it called in this game? I forgot. Something statue, I think. Something statue. It's not a bonfire, but I'm pretty sure a lot of us will still call it that, because that's basically what it is, just like. So, armor is not in this game, so you can't like Dark Souls, have to deliberate, do I want to trade off my mobility for more defense and stuff like that. Don't have to worry about that in this game anymore. There's stamina, well, no stamina as well, so you don't have to worry about, calculating your hits and, basically rationing your hits. Pretty much you can attack as much as you want without any penalty, with the exception of your, what do they call it? Is it stagger, stamina? Not stagger, not stamina. What is it called? It is not coming to my head. What is it? Stamina, stance. It's something stance, I think. No, I pretty much have that wrong, but it's something stance. Where basically, posture. That's what it is. Posture. So basically, posture is kind of like a somewhat of a form of secondary. Well, it's kind of somewhat like a. No, it's unique. It's not necessarily a replacement for stamina. Well, technically it kind of is, but it's hard to describe. But basically, it's kind of like your defensive meter. That's probably the best way to describe it. But basically, you have to block. When you block, your posture meter goes up, and then when it maxes out, you basically can't block anymore, and then you're wide open for attack. In majority of cases. So pretty much, if not always, but basically, so you have to kind of ration it out, or kind of move from the dude attacking you, or you can parry. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called here. You can parry attacks, which basically lets you deflect or defend an attack without the negative benefit of it draining your posture gauge. So it's a lot of cool, interesting dynamics there. And, it kind of goes the same with fighting bosses too. So when you're fighting, bosses, they basically have a posture meter. And then when you basically get their posture down, you're then able to attack or give them a fatal attack or what do they call it? A killing blow? I think it's a killing blow. Majority of the bosses I've come across, they just have two. So you basically have to get their posture down twice, and then they'll die. For most of the bosses I've encountered, I'm assuming some are going to get more difficult. Some maybe even easier, but I think it all just varies there. But it's an interesting system. It kind of is more realistic, where it's like you're not slicing dudes up like 50 times and then just kill them dead. But this seems kind of more realistic, where you basically have to take away my defense first and then you can kill me, like a typical more realistic media would kind of do. So, but yeah, no, definitely interested. It's been a great been having a great experience so far. You kind of definitely get those Soulsborne vibes in a fair amount of ways, in terms of having a bonfire technically, and other than that, actually no, I can't really think of just blatantly similar, just like maybe the animations of characters and your character and stuff like that. No, can't really think, but I really do like the grappling hook. That's been pretty awesome. The mobility is great. Also, being able to stealth kill people is pretty awesome too. It's pretty fulfilling, as well. Folks have said that this used to be, I think even the developers themselves, they said that this game was going to be Tenchu, the next Tenchu, but they felt like they didn't want to get confined within the restraints of a Tenchu game, and all of the expectations and things like that. So they made it its own unique IP, which is in this case Sekiro. So but yeah, definitely been having a great time with it. Just been good God, struggling a lot. It's supposedly the hardest, or at least people are supposedly saying one of the hardest, if not the hardest, From Software game. That's a strong statement. I don't know. It hasn't been that hard for me in particular, outside of what is expected, I'd say. So that's hard to say because I think, these games are generally known for just having a great amount of patience, which I fortunately do have. So for me, the experience has been pretty doable, I'd say. But for others, they are not, liking it. And, that's kind of the one topic of discussion now is that people are saying that, like, this game should have an easy mode. It's not accommodating. But, like, where were y'all, like, years ago? Where were y'all in, like, 2011 when Dark Souls came out? And, nobody was complaining about that. But, of course, it wasn't as popular as it is now in terms of, the fame it's caught and stuff with the, subsequent releases after that. But I digress. I don't think it should have a hard mode, in my opinion. The difficulty is the difficulty. That's the expectation of the game. How it generally works. In terms of From Software games, is that you will struggle a lot, but the game is teaching you perseverance. Learning to overcome adversity in a lot of situations. I'm pretty sure I know the developer. The name does not come to me, and I do not want to butcher it, so I'm not going to say it. But he did talk about how, growing up, he, read more complicated books that, like, he really couldn't get the, material because, it was more complex, ideas and stuff that he was like reading. And, he was like a little kid in school, so he didn't really comprehend, but he, persevered. And after he started to learn and understand the book, and then, ultimately, kind of got that fulfilling growth of, what's expected for somebody to persevere over something that's considered to be pretty difficult. So, yeah, that is my point for, some particular games requesting to have a hard mode or whatever. I personally don't believe it. Specifically for the Soulsborne series, that's basically what separates the game from others, because otherwise it would just be some generic hack and slash, that you don't necessarily have to think about. But this game makes you think about the moves you're making, maybe assess on what you're doing wrong, and then after that, changing it up, and then succeeding after that, and then getting that great sense of fulfillment of overcoming adversity over something that's considered really difficult in a lot of scenarios. So yes, my stance is that you should design the game how you want to design the game. You can't be confined on the lines of trying to be accessible to most as much players as possible. That's unrealistic in a lot of games. A lot of games, that's actually its appeal, that it is niche, and that a fair amount of people get it, and there is a cult following for particular said game and whatnot. And ultimately, if you really have to play it on easy, then get a PC and mod, like what caused the one particular meme that's been going around now. I forgot what it is verbatim. It says something along the lines of, you don't know the challenge, you don't know the defeat, you have failed yourself, you played yourself. I want to play the DJ Khaled video in my head, but I'm totally highly paraphrasing what he said. But basically, I do identify with what he has said in those that those aspects of things. So who knows? I do know. Don't put a damn easy mode in Sekiro. That's what makes Sekiro Sekiro. If it was easy mode, they wouldn't really be Sekiro. Just saying. But yeah, I don't see them adding the easy mode or trying to appease these people. Cause where were you? Where were you when Dark Souls was out? Where were you when Demon Souls was out? Okay, I wasn't there for Demon Souls. I ain't gonna try to be a hypocrite like that. But where were you? All right, where were you? You weren't there. You wasn't with me getting killed by monkeys. You wasn't with me getting killed by these roosters. Okay. All right. Stop it. Stop it. Suck it up. Be a man or woman. We being gender neutral right now. And play the damn game the way it's meant to be played. If not, go home. You already home? Okay, then go out and do something else. Okay. Words from Switch. You're welcome. But yeah, that's my stance on that. So, but yeah, Sekiro's a pretty great game. I've been enjoying it so far. Actually have been taking somewhat of a break from it because, man, good God. God hand has engrossed my life. So that's what I have been playing as of late. It's been a pretty great game. Man, if you have not played God Hand, change that. Well, if you have a PS3, because if you don't, or a PS2, it is on PS2, or it actually is the port of the PS2 version on the PS3. But thoroughly enjoyed the game. Great game. If you love beat 'em ups, this is right there up your alley. Made by, of course, who else but Shinji Mikami, the god himself. That, as if you don't know, he made the original Resident Evil. I think he helped with Resident Evil 2, and then he went on to direct Resident Evil 4. Good God, Resident Evil 4. And I think he helped with Resident Evil. Well, what was going to be Resident Evil 4 that eventually ended up being Devil May Cry. I want to say he helped create that as well. So, also made The Evil Within, at least currently, The Evil Within 1 and 2. What else? Shadows of the Dam with the other god, Suda 51. So, big repertoire there, but I have been playing that and been thoroughly enjoying it. It's been a great game. Good God. Just the variability, the so many options. You can change your combos, modify your combos, and just juggling folks. It's just so fulfilling, so satisfying. I love it. I love it to death. But I wish there was a port. Man, I wish there was a port. And even better, like if there was a port or a sequel, man, being able to assign your combos to different presets and then being able to switch it on the fly like Devil May Cry 5 and good God, that would be great. That would be really great. That really would be great. I'd love it. I'd love it so much. I really would. I really would love it. But yeah, at least for now, at least I get to play God Hand still. Yeah, man. If you are into beat 'em ups, highly suggest you try that out. So yeah, I did finish that this weekend on Twitch TV /aswitch. I have been streaming pretty often as of late. A rare sight to behold, considering my repertoire there. But yeah, other than that, I guess outside of, I've been still putting some time in the Master Chief Collection. Good God, man, the support they have shown for that game, considering the backlash that's been having or had when it came out, man. Bravo. Been thoroughly enjoying that, getting some matches in. I've been mainly playing Halo 2 because, man, that's still my favorite Halo, I'd say. Of course, don't get me wrong, I've been putting a good amount into Halo 3, but I don't know. It's just something about Halo 2. It's just like comfort food. It's just so comforting, just so fun and comforting. I don't know how to describe it. That's been capturing my life as well. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I've been putting a good amount of time into Apex Legends. I've yet to get a chicken dinner, at least maybe is the generalized word, or at least in the respect of Apex Legend, become a champion. Have not yet to become a champion. I was super goddamn close. Super close in terms of almost getting the top spot. I made it to number 2 last night, and good God, I was so close. It was my whole team dropped out. It was just me, and I had all my gear set. I had the top tier gear. I had what did I have? I had my did I have a Spitfire? No, I had my Peacekeeper. I had the Peacekeeper ready with all with the choke attached. Man, I was so ready. And then I had I had my armor and everything. And it was kind of my mistake in terms of I was under an impression that it was only one. Yeah, it was only one person left because when you're playing the game on the top right screen, it tells you how many players are in the game or left. And then when it gets really lower, it goes to a question mark. To not give you the definitive answer in terms of knowing what to expect. And then so with that being said, it was like two squads left. So I'm thinking it meant me and somebody else, the other squad, but of course it didn't. So I went, I saw some people. I was like, okay, it's just them. All right, bet. Let me go and get them and kill them. Let me give them this. Let me give them this piece with this. Give them this piece with this peacekeeper. And man, that did not work out because shortly after, I got shot back, and I think it was three of them. So it was 1v3. So the odds were against me to begin with. And then some dude on the left of me, far range, finished me off. So I got basically quadruple teamed by four people. I got jumped by four people. I might as well. And then I had that defeat. One day I will get a chicken dinner, damn it. Okay. That's the thing with battle royale games. I had the difficulty trying to get into them. I messed with Fortnite. Wasn't really feeling the building mechanics. If and when, I'm pretty sure it's a given. I think that they'll eventually release a mode without building. Because man, that would probably get me back into that game if they do, if and when they do. But can never get a win. Given I never really consistently tried as much as I should to try to get a win because of multiple reasons in terms of going back to not being able to play the game, not being able to accept having to learn the building mechanics, which I kind of refuse not to learn. But yeah, then of course I tried PUBG. PUBG was cool in some aspects. I just needed to put more time into it. The polish doesn't feel like it's there, of course, but at some point I'll probably try revisiting that back. I only probably maybe put like 3-ish hours into PUBG and then stopped because I kept getting my ass killed. But probably the most I'll put into a battle royale game is definitely Apex Legends for sure. I don't know, just something about that Respawn, I guess, MO in terms of their games. They all just feel tight, just tight and refined and fun. And, everything just feels responsive and just like great. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, so we'll see. One day I will. Also Black Ops 4 Blackout mode. I played a little bit too, a fair amount. Black Ops Blackout, I'm definitely enjoying too. I put it right behind Apex Legends. So at least in terms of my hierarchy of favorite battle royale games is definitely Apex Legends at the top. A little bit below that is Black Ops or Black Ops Blackout mode. After that would be PUBG, and then down below is Fortnite. Till they fix the not fix it, but take out the damn building. So I don't want to get killed by some dude that can just basically is basically an architect. Like, okay, like I didn't play Fortnite just to be an architect to shoot people. All right, if I want to do that, I just want to go to damn architecture firm or whatever. All right, let me get off my soapbox. Let me stop. But yeah, I don't know. And then that's in general what I kind of felt about battle royale games is that like I like them, but it's like I don't know. I don't feel like I get the constant gratification of like a typical like team deathmatch where you get kills consistently and stuff, which you could technically play it like that, but 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get killed one way or another because of you want to go all willy-nilly in a whole suite of people that are in the same area perimeter as you that probably picked up the weapons already, so you just got your knuckles out and they got like a whole light gun with the chain ready to be unearthed, you know. So I don't know. So I don't really. Part of me feels guilty about camping in battle royale games because I don't know. Just something feels like I'm not playing the game how I should play it or how I would want to play it for fun, you know. But I don't know. Some people say you should just keep going into the condensed areas or, you know, jump out as soon as it starts in order to kind of get that practice or get that, I don't know, get that rust off, which in some cases I have felt would help and benefit and, you know, being able to like kind of get a warm up before a game, which I think Apex doesn't really seem to do. Maybe they'll do it at some point, but I do appreciate that with other games, kind of giving you a chance to get warmed up a little bit. Kind of get a feel of the sensitivity of some of the guns and how they have like a ridiculous, atrocious knockback and, you know, things like that. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that has been my gaming ventures as of late. So pretty pretty basic, if you will. I always feel guilty, like I should be playing more games in terms of, you know, more multiplayer. I mean, more single player games, in terms of the backlog and stuff like that. With, you know, what's coming on the horizon and stuff like that. Like, you know, Days Gone. Definitely excited for that. Definitely keep on the lookout for my impressions. You know, regarding that game too. Oh man, and good God. Uh, let's just put this out there. Like next week is gonna be a crazy ass week. I'm just by all means one of the biggest weeks in years. Okay. Monday. What's Monday? Nothing's Monday. Or technically Monday. For me, I'm in the Pacific Standard time zone. So 9 p.m. for me is midnight release generally for games to come out, which technically is on Monday. So I believe Mortal Kombat 11 comes out. Definitely ready and excited to play the single player mode like crazy, or single player aka story mode like crazy. And then after I beat it, probably try out the online multiplayer a little bit. Oh, okay, let's play this. And get my ass stomped. And then you're like, you know what? All right, I'm good. Probably come back when a DLC character comes out or something like that. And I'm totally fine with that. I just love that's how I am with fighting games in general. I like playing them for a fair amount of time, and then at some point, I either get my ass handed to me 2 times, a butt cheek each, and then just drop it after that. But we'll see. We'll see how Mortal Kombat 11 does. Maybe it might be the rare instance that I may actually play a fighting game for an extended period of time. We shall see. But man, after that, goddamn Cobra Kai on YouTube. Recently caught up on that, and man, good God, such a great show. Really love it. I binge watched the hell out of it when I got around to it, like roughly about a month or so ago. And what do you know? They came out with the season 2 trailer that's coming out next Wednesday. I'm like, golly, man, that's a lot. So I'm probably gonna end up more than likely binging that on the Wednesday. And then next day, of course, the moment we've all been waiting for. Good God, good God. Like what, 10 years, a decade in the making, we're gonna have Avengers Endgame. Good God. Goodness, I can't even, I don't even, do I really have to mention anything? You know, it's Avengers Endgame. We finally get to see what happened to the people that got dusted, and you know, suspiciously have movies confirmed even before this movie came out and stuff like that. Then all the fates are. Oh my God, I'm gonna save that for a podcast. I might probably just do an exclusive podcast to talk about Endgame in general, but we'll see. More than likely, I'll put that'll be a thing at some point. But yeah, man. And then after that, if that wasn't enough, Days Gone, it comes out the day after. So, first world problems, obviously, but still. Oh man, first world problems for sure. I'm not gonna complain about it. So yeah, man, a lot to look forward to next week for sure. So I am not complaining. Well, I was complaining, but complaining in a good way. You know what I mean? Like, these some good complaints. These probably some really good complaints you've heard, if any. All right. Avengers is coming out next Thursday. Then I gotta play Mortal Kombat 11. And I gotta watch Cobra Kai. Ugh. Then I gotta play Days Gone. Kill me now. Oh boy, yeah, what a time to be alive, man. I'm just saying. But yeah, guys, that is gonna do it for me. In terms of my closing, I'm gonna work on it. Okay, this has been my first podcast in a while coming back. No, okay, all right, help me, help you, help me. Okay, think about it. All right. But nonetheless, on the interwebs, the internets, what have you, you can find me on Twitter at aswitch. You can also find me on Twitch. I be twitching it. Aswitch is on Twitch. Okay, don't get it twisted. Find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/aswitch. Some plans in terms of some future streams that I'm planning on doing. I'm getting that. I'm fiending for some No More Heroes. So I'm just saying you may or may not see some No More Heroes being streamed on Twitch. That's all I'm gonna say. May possibly see some Silent Hill 4. Taking it back. All right. Yeah, so I ain't gonna I ain't gonna spill my whole, pool of cereal for y'all to all eat up. Okay, all right. I'm just saying. So keep on the lookout for that. You can also catch me on YouTube at youtube.com/aswitch. I am going to plan on getting that revived back, giving it a shot in the arm. I did a try not to laugh challenge, which I'm hopefully going to edit and get out there at some point. So yeah, definitely keep on the lookout for that. Also, you can also catch my website, which is aswitch.net. At least for now, it's going to be just mainly to host my podcast if it works out. If you hear this actually now, you'll know it worked out, basically. So we'll kind of figure that out and get all the iron all the kinks out and whatnot too. But yeah, I think that is it. Also, yes, I also have a Patreon as well. So much I've set for myself. My plate is looking a little full, looking just a little bit full. Yeah, so I do have a Patreon. I am going to work on doing some exclusive stuff there. Maybe some vlogs. I don't really be doing that much, so we'll see how that goes. Probably do some vlogs. What else? Dubs. I think people like some of the dubs I've done, so I might try to explore that a little bit more with some stuff. So I might maybe do some time exclusivity with Patreon or exclusives. More than likely, probably exclusives, but we'll kind of get a feel for that, kind of explore and test all that out. But that in terms of Patreon, patreon.com/aswitch as well. I keep it uniform, baby. All right, I'm keeping it uniform. Okay, all right. But yeah, that will end it for me, guys. Of course, thanks for listening. More. Definitely appreciate it. Be sure to rate this highly on iTunes, or you can just not, and I'll be in oblivion of nothingness in the space that is iTunes podcast or whatever. But good golly. But yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. Been a pleasure. Thank you for listening. I'm back. I'm back like I never left, even though I did leave for a substantial amount of time. But let's not dwell on that. Okay, all right. You with me? All right. Let's rewind it back, flip it and reverse it. That's Missy Elliott, but you get it. You get it. All right, I've been drawing this over too long, but yeah, guys. Until next time.